Welcome to Strip Talking, a podcast from stripwalking.com.
I don't understand this Whopper situation.
I did not eat tuna in college, despite my best efforts.
A branch of the Branch Davidians, David Cornish.
It's what brings fun to Vegas, math.
Usually that's one of the things that really comes naturally to you is insulting me.
All right, Geoff, you're the podcast expert.
Spider pig, spider pig.
Nobody's going to care. Mom's not going to care. She's glad I'm hydrating.
Don't put words in his mouth. Put Monster Burgers in his mouth.
We can still be friends.
I don't think so.
I don't know that I'll respect you as much.
I don't know that we can respect him at all.
Take your ketchup meat back.
Here are your hosts, and maybe.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Strip Talking Podcast, brought to you by stripwalking.com. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Jay, as you know. We've got Geoff with a G here tonight. Geoff, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, Jay.
You look wonderful.
Well, thank you.
You do look wonderful, Geoff.
Whoa, who is that?
Also, Mike with a K here.
Just one K.
Just one K.
Yeah.
1K, 1G, 1J.
It's good to see you, actually, Jay.
Thank
Since,
you.
we were supposed to record a couple days ago.
Well, you know, have you ever been in a situation where you indulge so thoroughly that your brain cannot hold the memories? That's the stage I was at.
Don't know what you're talking about.
All I know is I got a text saying, hey, there are lots of people at my house. It might be a little later. Then Jay went radio silent for about 48 hours.
For not having many friends, I do have people at my house a lot.
If they're not friends, who are they?
It's the real question.
I just really kind of thought you died.
If you could have felt what my head felt like the next morning, I should have died, yes.
Well, we're glad to have you back, Jay.
Would it have killed you to send one text? We were worried sick about you.
To be honest, I was more worried that I actually joined the recording session and owed you an even larger apology.
I would have liked to have seen Ultra Sassy Jay. I bet that would have been fantastic.
Might have been our best episode yet.
I doubt that. I seriously doubt that.
Well, either way, I'm glad that you're here, Jay. And you too, Mike.
Speaking of headaches, though, Mike, tell us a little bit about new food experiences.
I get why you would associate that with a headache. I did try Indian food,
Big day.
Wow!
which was big news to you two. I could tell by how enthusiastically Geoff quizzed me about it.
What did you say? You haven't seen me in 3 months, and the first thing you asked me was about my Indian food experience?
It's huge news. It's huge news.
Perhaps we should recap for those that haven't heard the other episode. Got into Indian food a little bit, and my opinion of it is it's all liquid.
It is a saucy cuisine, no doubt.
But we have a relatively new Indian place here, and for the sake of talking about it on the podcast, I thought I would give it a try. Maybe I'm being a little unreasonable. I don't usually think I'm very unreasonable.
Seriously?
I don't appreciate the looks on your faces right now.
Maybe the very unreasonable was a little harsh, but you could have taken the very off of it, and it might have fit.
All right. Yes, I'm very unreasonable quite a bit. I know this. Anyway, tried Indian food, ordered it with a couple friends from work who were much more excited about it than I was. It's called the Himalayan Indian Kitchen. So I was also excited. I have never been to the Himalayas. I wanted to check that out as well. Turns out it's far less mountainous than I thought.
That mountain range does not exist in the middle part of Nebraska, does it?
That explains a lot, I guess. So here is the rundown of what we got. I did not try all of this, but we got butter chicken, mild, rice. I think that came with the buttered chicken. Chicken steam momo, vegetable samosa, plain naan, and cheese naan. Both of them were not buttered. There was the butter option. And we ordered carrot pudding, but when I got there to pick it up, he informed me that they were out of carrot pudding and they said substituted rice pudding. I didn't have any say in the matter, and I later checked and saw that it was 90 cents cheaper and I did not get a refund.
Mm-hmm. Was that reflected in the gratuity?
Yes, because I didn't give any gratuity.
So is that the extent of the menu? Is that everything you had?
Yes. That's not everything I ate. That's everything we ordered.
Okay, all right.
Do you have a comment on that?
Well, no, I was just my very first question then was it as sauce heavy as you expected it to be?
So I took the stuff out of the bag and I wondered, where is my buttered chicken? Because all there were tubs of sauce. After a little investigating, I realized that one of the tubs of sauce did contain a few chicken chunks if you dug hard enough, but it was a lot of liquid, yes. And it was very red, so you'd think buttered chicken. I don't really think red, but
Any comments on where the redness might come on that, Jay?
The red would usually come from some sort of chili sort of source, maybe a chili powder or a paprika of sorts. Butter chicken has some tomato in it usually.
Yeah, my guess was going to be paprika too.
I did pour some of the buttered chicken out onto my plate.
Okay. Okay. Good.
I'm not joking. I literally poured it onto my plate.
My question is, did you pour it over the rice? I would have poured it over the rice is what I would have done.
No, I probably should have done that. I didn't. I sampled the rice later, which I liked the rice. The rice was pretty good. I like the buttered chicken actually too. It wasn't spicy at all. I think that was because of my mild selection.
That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Not all Indian food has to be spicy.
I'm not a sauce guy. I think we all know that. It was too much sauce. I wish it was less sauce.
Were the flavors something new and different to your taste buds? It's flavors that you probably don't run into every day yourself.
I guess you could say that. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Did they have macaroni and cheese?
No.
Okay, so automatically it's a different flavor set than what he's used to.
On a daily basis. Good point. But that lends to the question, what kind of cheese was on the cheese naan?
I have no idea. Yellow.
Yellow. Okay, yellow.
It did not specify on the menu.
Jay, I think after hearing Mike describe his meal, we're probably going to have to worry about him leaving the podcast to start his own, where he goes into depth and describes every little bit of food that he eats. It was yellow. The cheese was yellow.
Right.
Okay, Mike. Sorry. I'm just. Yeah, I know. I deserve that. I'm surprised I didn't get both middle fingers. I'm impressed, Mike. I really am impressed that you ventured out and tried it. I am a little disappointed though that you did not get to try the carrot pudding, because I am curious about the carrot pudding.
Well, I'm not down to the carrot pudding yet, Geoff. So
okay. Sorry.
Let me get down to that stuff.
Okay.
The naan, I was kind of excited about that because it looked more like my type of thing, basically a cheesy roll-up tortilla that I make in my microwave. But it was pretty underwhelming, to be honest, too. And I kind of blame that on the lack of butter. I think you slap some butter on there, that would have helped.
The naan is really meant to be a vessel for the sauce.
I would think that if you would have used the naan to kind of sop up the sauce that you had from your butter chicken.
Yeah, but I didn't really like the sauce enough to do that.
Okay. I am a little disappointed in the hypocritical nature of this, though. I got roasted for suggesting butter on Pop Tarts, but you wanted butter on naan. You said butter would make it better.
I am quite sure I said I would try that, but I haven't yet.
And did you have not yet?
No.
Okay.
But that's hardly roasting you. I did try the other two things though.
And
The chicken steam Momoa with their like little pot sticker looking things.
mm-hmm,
Does that sound right?
probably.
Yeah.
I kind of like those. There's some sort of sweet brown sauce that you could dip them in. They're very spicy. Whatever is in them had a greenish tint to them that made it look like cat shit or something. So it was very unappealing to look at. That's my review. And the vegetable samosa, actually, I wasn't going to try that with whatever vegetable shit was in that. But there was a piece left of the outer crust. It was more of a like a croissant type crust, it seemed like. Flaky thing. So I just ate the crust, and the crust was quite tasty.
Well, good deal. I'm actually so give an overall grade for your first time trying Indian food.
Oh, and so the only thing I didn't try was the rice pudding.
You didn't even try it?
The only pudding I want is the kind that Bill Cosby is selling me right before he tries to remove my pants.
Oh my gosh! You should have tried it. When I was younger, I didn't like it. As I've gotten older, I do like rice pudding. Bread pudding. Have you ever had bread pudding? Totally off topic.
It's rice and milk and sugar. Like, it can't be bad. Sometimes flavored with cardamom, things like that. But still.
I want my pudding super sweet. Maybe chocolatey. And we're not still talking about Bill Cosby.
So give us a grade. Give us a grade on the a scale.
I'm not the person who's qualified to grade Himalayan Indian kitchen food.
Well, I'm not saying you're grading their food. I'm saying you're grading your experience trying Indian food for the first time.
I'm probably not going to have it again. Let's be honest.
Okay. Was it as bad as you thought it was going to be?
No, probably not. But I had pretty low expectations coming in, especially after the guy went behind the bed sheet that was covering the entryway between the kitchen and the dining room to get the food.
It's where the magic happens.
I think it's a big step for you trying it. It's a big deal.
I'm with Jay.
I'm proud of you.
I'm less proud of you, but I'm still proud.
On a scale of 1 to Long John Silver's, 3 or a 4 maybe.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty good. Long John Silver's is like a 5, so it's pretty good.
I figured you were going to say like a 1 or a 2, so a 3.
He's such a liar. He thoroughly enjoyed his trip to Long John Silver's.
I really did. Let's be honest, I did.
Jeff's trying to get him to sponsor us. You got to say nice things about him.
I have not heard anything back. I know you're shocked at that too.
Shocking, yes. Maybe we should aim a little lower, like Himalayan Indian Kitchen sponsorship.
There you go. I'd be up for some free food.
You got some big news too, don't you, Geoff?
I don't know if it's big news for everybody else. It's kind of fun, I think, for me. I know when we first started the podcast, I was actually working as a dealer for our somewhat local casino here, which at the time was also a big deal because it was the only casino in the state of Nebraska that had live table games. Now there are a couple other ones in the state that have live table games. But anyway, at August, right around there, July, August, I stopped working there. But I have decided to go back and do some more part-time work at the table. So kind of excited about it. It was one of those things that, well, obviously, you guys tell me all the time that I talk too much. So obviously, I need another outlet to be in a situation where I can talk to a lot of people and drive them nuts. So I figured this was a good opportunity to do that. So yeah, I'm going to go back and start dealing again.
Start dealing again. Excellent.
Oh, sorry, dealing at the casino tables, not dealing out the back door of my business. How about that? I need to be specific. You never know who might listen to this.
You just broke a lot of hearts.
Broke a lot of hearts. So maybe we'll get some more interesting, fun stories, interesting stories.
Number one question I get asked is, what happened to Jeff's casino dealing?
Is it?
No.
Okay. Well, thank you for humoring me. I actually have been asked that locally.
By a podcast listener?
Yeah. No.
The public loves you.
Jay, who is this fan you always talk about that we have?
I'm not sure. I think he'd probably like to remain anonymous.
The few people that listen to us, we got to keep them coming back by shouting them out.
Keep him engaged. That's fair. It's Boner. You remember Boner from the old days.
Well, you just identified him to the whole world. Now everybody knows who Boner is.
Totally. He's pretty famous.
Well, thanks for listening, Boner.
Yeah. Shout out to Boner.
Good dude. Good dude.
Definitely a good dude. Maybe we could swap him out for Jay.
Or Geoff. One of the two.
Not the worst idea. Geoff, speaking of casinos, though, you had a pretty juicy night lately, it sounds like.
Yeah, it was kind of an epic night. So, again, this same casino that I'm going to go back and deal at, I was at a gathering, and we were at one of the watering holes there on a Saturday evening, and the gentleman that we were there to kind of celebrate, he was, we were trying to talk him to go into the casino, and he's like, no, I'm not going. I'm not lucky. I'm not feeling it tonight. Well, through a series of fortunate events, I would say, somehow some people there at the bar talked him into throwing some money together and using some of the skill games at the bar, see if they'd have any luck. And they ended up winning, about $300, $400 between the three of them. And so he's like, he goes, I'm feeling lucky. Let's go. So we piled in, a whole bunch of us piled into the vehicle, and we drove the 30 miles to the casino, which isn't the funny part. Well, it kind of is, since there were like 7 of us in a pickup. But we get to the casino and everybody just disperses like rats on a drowning ship or sinking ship. But anyway, so I headed off to the craps table. Was playing craps for a while, and all of a sudden I was standing next to the stick man. I was stick right, and he goes, "Hey," he goes, you could see from where he was at. He's like, that lady over there just got a jackpot, got a hand pay. She's like, he's kind of leans around. He's like, looks like about $1,400. I was like, well, that's cool. I was like, I'm just like, that's just cool. Somebody won. Just at that time, the crowd just happened to move out of the way, and it was one of the ladies that we had gone to the casino with. She had sat down for no more than like 5-10 minutes and had a hand pay right off the bat. And so I thought, hey, that's really cool that one of us, did well at the casino. So I played craps for probably about 45 minutes. I was up a little bit of money. Decided I was going to find out where everybody else went. So I colored up and I went and found a couple other people. And the gentleman that we were there with to begin with was sitting at a slot machine, and he was up like $1,000 already on this slot machine. I'm like, geez, like just keep hitting the bonuses. I was like, okay. So he's like, hey, go get me a beer. So I turned around, got in the line to get him a beer, came back. And when I got back, the lady that had gotten the hand pay was sitting at a slot machine next to his. And she was up like another $200, $300, just sitting there waiting for me to come back with the beer. So it's like, okay, everybody's winning. So I was like, okay, got to be the night to go win. So I turn around and I go and find a blackjack table where another person that had ridden with us was playing. Turned around and got my ass beat in blackjack like I always do, because what do you call it, Mike? The most overrated game in the casino?
Correct.
Okay. So I swear to God, every hand that I should have played the way I did, according to the book, I did, and still didn't win. And so I just got pissed and I left from the table. So another gal that was there, she's like, hey, let's go to the other side of the casino and let's see if we can find some slots over there that we want to try. Well, at this point...
Can I interrupt you for 1 second? Jay, did you get a text to go to this gambling thing with Jeff?
Negative.
I didn't either.
So, okay. So here's the deal. It turns out that we should have this pact between the three of us, that if you're intoxicated and you don't text one of the other 3 people about where you're going to be or if you're going to show up for something or not, then you can't really hold it against them. Is that fair?
I applaud that turnaround and attack on Jay.
And attack on Jay.
That's pretty good, Jeff. That's kind of rare for you.
Every time we're intoxicated?
Well, yeah. When it comes, no. If we're intoxicated and we go do something like you take a trip to the casino that's unplanned or something like that, or we schedule a podcast and we don't show up for it.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yeah. I was gonna say if you want to text every time we're intoxicated, you're treading on dangerous ground.
No. But to be fair, you're right. I did not text either of you. It was kind of a last minute decision, and I don't know that 9 of us would have fit into a crew cab pickup. That's the other problem.
You didn't give us the chance to find out.
That's also true. But anyway, so back to the story. I went and found another gal that we had gone with, and she's like, let's go to the other side of the casino. And so we sat down at one of them fishy slots. I don't even know.
By fishy slots, you mean like there's fishies on the,
There's like, on the display.
not like a sus slot machine or something.
No, not sus, just a fishing themed slot machine.
Just want to clarify.
Normally, if I wasn't intoxicated, I probably would have put my casino loyalty card in first and then put money into the machine. But
I don't know if you would have done that even if you weren't intoxicated. You're not very good at that.
yeah, that's true. But anyway, so I had put money into this machine, and then this gal I was with was like, hey, did you put your card in? You probably have free play, because she had free play on there because she hadn't been there in a while. And so I was like, oh, I need to look. And so I put my card in, and I was trying to hit the buttons to get to my free play, and I accidentally, with my hand, hit the spin button. Of course, it was on 88 cents a spin.
Now that totally checks out. That's absolutely something you would do.
Exactly. So I hit the 88 cents a spin button and spin. And of course, very first spin, I hit the bonus. So on an 88 cent per spin thing, I ended up winning like 50, 60 bucks on the bonus, which, I probably, if I had been normally playing, it would have probably been 3 times that for sure. I usually play between 2.5 and 5 probably a spin.
Was 88 cents the lowest?
Yep, it was.
Yeah, you're not playing 88 cents after
No.
you got your free play.
No. So anyway, I won, before I even got to my free play, I won like 60 bucks on an 88 cent spin, totally on accident. The gal that I was with was pissed because she was at the next slot. And she's like, fuck you. She goes, she just stood up and stomped off. I'm like, I'm checking out, cashing out. So I cashed out.
That also checks out. You'd be happy with your $60 win.
I was.
Saying that you hit the button with your hand implies that you sometimes hit it with something else.
Okay, I brushed it with the side of my hand as I was reaching over to push the buttons to put in my pin. How about that?
Yeah, that doesn't really make sense because the free play stuff is up on the top part and the buttons are down below.
No, not this slot machine, because the slot machine, where the it's one of those flat panel ones, the newer flat panel displays. It doesn't even have like the, like we normally think of like a button. It doesn't have that. It's just flat, and it lists the different denominations on it. And so when I reached over to the left side to punch my buttons in, the fat part of my hand, because I'm fat, bumped the 88 cent thing, and it caused it to spin.
Are you buying this, Jay?
It seems sus, to use your term from earlier, but if Geoff was in that intoxicated state, I just don't see him making it up either.
I think his dumb drunk ass just push spin.
Yeah, I think so too. And I love it.
You applaud it. Well, anyway, so the night continued on. We're getting fairly close to the end of the night, and a few of the...
Let's keep in mind, sorry to interrupt again, Geoff. This man has been cut off at a venue in Vegas.
That was an all-you-could-drink thing.
Refused to serve out any more alcohol. So you can imagine what sort of shape he was probably in.
It's amazing I was able to get a job back at this place, right?
Wait, was this when you interviewed?
This was no. So anyway, the the rest of the night, we're winding up the night, getting ready to leave. 2 of the people that were there wanted to go outside to smoke, because you can't smoke in casinos in Nebraska. While we're getting ready to walk out, one of the guys, the guy that wasn't feeling lucky at the beginning of the night, but by the end of the night was feeling very lucky. We're walking by one of Mike and I's favorite slots. We're probably the favorite slot, which is
Huff and Puff.
Dragon
Huff
Link.
and Puff. Dragon Link. Thank you, Jay.
Yes, it's Dragon Link.
He's like, hey, I like this machine. He goes, let's all throw in $20. So the 3 of us threw $20 in a piece.
Wait, your friend was like, I like this machine, or you were?
Well, I was like, I love Dragon Link. He was the one that I was ready to leave.
Who's his friend? Maybe I need to meet him.
I'll introduce you. He loves to gamble.
Sounds like a good dude if he likes Dragon Link.
But anyway, he's like, let's throw $20 each in here and let's see if we can hit something. So $20, $60 total, betting $5 spins. 3 spins in, we get the ball bonus. When one of the balls, the initial 6 ones, one of the fireballs, had a $500 thing on it right away. So we knew we were at least 500 right away. We're like, holy shit.
God, Dragon Link's so much fun. I can hear that music right now, that bonus music. Ding 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 ding.
Pew! What's even funnier is if oh, you had the sound effect.
I have a lot of sound effects.
Oh.
That's what you're looking for.
The true degenerates that we are, all three of us were bobbing our head to the music as it was playing. God, you're making me Dragon Link jealous right now. Anyway, so like we actually were down to the last. We had 14 of the 15 spots occupied on with the last three, and I tell you what, the three of us were beating the piss out of that machine, like some of those people do when they're tapping the little machine, because all three of us were rather intoxicated. Unfortunately, we didn't get the grand because the grand was like 11,000. That would have been nice. But between the three of us, we ended up cashed out at $702 on that bonus.
Boom.
Yeah, that concluded my night. But that was, I don't know that I've ever had a night where I've gone to the casino and everybody, especially that many people, that everybody I've gone to the casino with ends up winning. It was a pretty fantastic night.
Let's call up these lucky friends and let's go.
Let's go.
We'll do a live episode from the casino.
Yeah, we could. That would be fun.
I've been thinking lately, I've been watching, well, obviously I watch a lot of YouTube. That shapes my view of the world pretty much anymore. You know, I've been anti-cruise forever. I might go on a cruise.
You might go on a cruise?
Thinking about it.
Like the big boat?
Yes, a cruise.
You've never been on a cruise, right?
Never been on a cruise. Never really let the idea enter my mind.
What are the reasons that you had never considered it? Do you not like the idea of being on the water like that, or just the idea of being contained on a ship for that long? Or
Motion sickness would be a big one.
sure.
A lot of people will say that cruises, it's not a problem. I don't know if that's true or not.
The big ships, not at all.
Have you both been on cruises? Both of you have been on cruises?
I have.
I have as well.
Where to?
Caribbean.
Same.
Bahamas. Seems like we stopped in Haiti, which was strange.
So here's another reason specific to me, but I don't know. I think these cruises are probably more expensive and a little harder to find. There is I think it's called St. Maarten Island, that has a very famous airport where planes take off and land right overhead of a beach.
I've seen videos of that.
You can actually go up to the fence at the beach, which is right behind the runway, and if a big enough jet is taking off away from you, the jet wash will lift you off the ground, and so you're just holding on to the fence basically to not die. As an aviation geek, that's one of the places that's on my bucket list.
I've seen videos of that. It is pretty cool.
Plus, when they're landing, they're like 15, 20 feet over your head.
I'm not sure the appeal of breathing exhaust fumes appeals to me so much, but it's cool.
And if you're ever bored, look up these videos on YouTube. Like people that lose their grip and go flying down the beach. It's pretty hilarious.
So this is the guy that wants to breathe jet fuel, hang on to a chain link fence for life so he doesn't get thrown down the beach, but he's worried about standing in pee when he's in a shower.
It's called riding the fence, Geoff. Riding the fence.
You're really hoping for a bikini top to fall off, let's be honest.
I'm sure more than one has fallen off. I'm sure there's been more than one broken arm or broken leg, too. Which, actually, if I saw somebody break an arm or leg, it's a story to tell.
I would say I really enjoyed the cruise that I was on. The cruise itself, I thought was a lot of fun. And like Jay said, those boats are so big. Most of the time, you don't even know you're moving. Unless you're outside and you see the water going by, like you're out up on top, like on the deck, you don't even feel the ship moving.
That's watching those videos. That's kind of what's appealing is, how they're little cities, basically.
Absolutely. And there's so much to do on those boats. And the thing that I liked, some of those restaurants and stuff are open all day, all night. Like if you wanted to go eat at any time of the day, you go eat. I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. I think you would like it.
Isn't Wi-Fi crazy expensive though? Because you can't get like even cell reception. Obviously, you can't get cell reception in the middle of the ocean. Kind of like airplane Wi-Fi.
We bought Wi-Fi for one day on our cruise just to, FaceTime back home to the kids and stuff. But other than that, we never even got it and kind of enjoyed it, to be honest.
I have to be honest with you. When I went on my cruise, Wi-Fi wasn't even a thing.
So you're old.
Like I said, it was 25 years ago.
Okay, but that's not the only objection I have. You remember it was probably, and actually, as I got back into watching the cruise videos, this came up quite a bit on my YouTube feeds too. The stories around that ship that capsized or partially capsized 15 years ago.
It was over in Europe, wasn't it? Like in the Mediterranean?
Yeah, I think so. And the dumbass captain got off the boat right away. And there's a famous audio of the Italian Coast Guard helicopter guy just chewing the guy out, like, get back on the fucking boat, you coward piece of shit.
I believe it was the Costa Concordia.
Yes. Yep.
In the Mediterranean, yep.
Correct. Which Costa Concordia, is that the ship company, or was that the name of the ship?
I believe the name of the ship.
Maybe Costa is the ship, because I think it's still operating. The company is.
Costa, I think, is the name of the company. Checking.
A good number of people died on that too.
Yeah, there were some deaths, if I remember right. But so you're afraid that a ship is going to capsize, or
shit like that? There was the one, the poop cruise, where they lost all power and basically were floating and standing in their own shit. That one wasn't that long ago, I don't think, was it? Yeah, maybe it was.
The name of the vessel was the Costa Concordia. Costa Cruises was the company name. 32 people died.
So you think that's the reason?
No, I mean, those are less likely to happen, but still, like, my nightmares if I get on a cruise ship probably will be that.
Statistically, pretty rare.
Just like flying a plane.
Exactly.
Getting on an airplane. But I've always maintained that if somebody wanted you to disappear, like your wife that you give tire rebates to, that would be the best. It'd be super easy to disappear off the back of it. And it happens. Not a lot, but it's definitely happened, right?
People fall off a boat?
Yeah.
Wow.
For example, just recently, I didn't even catch this when it happened, which is surprising because usually I'm all over negative stuff happening on cruises. There's a guy a couple years ago that went overboard and was in the water for like 24 hours or 20 hours and survived, which almost never happens usually. I mean, they don't turn those ships around if you go overboard. They don't even really usually realize you're...
It's a big bodies of water. Finding a needle in a haystack situation.
Right. And it's not like they can turn those things on a dime.
No.
Big circle to get back to you. And it's actually kind of a funny story. I think we should watch a little bit of a video on it that I came across. The title is Man Who Fell Off Cruise Ship Swam with Sharks and Rip Currents for 20 Hours. His name's James Michael Grimes. You guys want to watch this?
Yeah, let's watch it.
Are you ready, Geoff?
I'm ready.
It's a local ABC station interviewing the guy. I think it's probably about a year maybe after it happened. And he is in the first frame. How would you describe him, Jay?
Douchey.
Wait, I think he's wearing my outfit. A polo, untucked polo, and khaki pants.
Wait a minute. Is that Mike?
Is that me?
He's lying to us. He has too been on a cruise ship, but he didn't complete it.
A bad haircut with his hair parted to the right? If his hair's thinning on top. Yeah, that's totally me. All right.
Giving to remember.
James Michael Grimes knows he's lucky to be alive.
My worst fear is drowning, and that was something I did not want to have to face.
The 28-year-old going overboard a cruise ship in the middle of the night, saying he spent about 20 hours treading water alone in the Gulf of Mexico.
I wanted to see my family, and I was dead set on making it out of there. You know, I was never accepting that this is it. This is going to be the end of my life.
It was supposed to be a Thanksgiving celebration. James Michael and 18 of his family members boarding the Carnival Valor last Wednesday in New Orleans.
Okay, one comment. If I'm on a cruise with 18 of my family members, I'm jumping.
Like 18 family members? Holy cow.
Jay is 100% accurate with that. No way. 18 of them?
I'm not sure I could round up 18 family members to take a cruise.
We were just hanging out, having a good time, watching some live music.
He was doing more than watching the live music.
You're damn right.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Did you have a few drinks?
I had during the day, and I'd actually did like an air guitar solo, and there was a competition they were doing.
That is amazing. Right there.
Here's the part where the podcast listeners are going to get the shaft. We'll put a link to this video in the podcast description. There is actually video of the air guitar contest, which we're going to
Let's see it
to right now.
And I'd won it, so I'd won a free drink. So I had that. But
But you hadn't had you weren't inebriated, had a ton of drinks.
no, man.
He wasn't inebriated at all.
No.
How many drinks do you think you had?
Did you notice him looking away from the camera when he said no, ma'am?
Yeah, he's like looking up and to the right. No, ma'am.
I believe police officers are trained to recognize the look away like that to know someone is lying.
Also, for the people listening, is it an air guitar contest if you have a blow up guitar? He has a pink blow up guitar. That's not really an air guitar.
No, you gotta be bare bones.
It has air in the guitar, but I don't know if that's an air guitar.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think you gotta be, what's the word? Acapella there, maybe? I don't know.
Unplugged.
Unplugged, yes.
In the footage, though, he apparently won it by playing and sort of sliding to his knees. Would you say?
Yeah.
Around 11 p.m. that first night on board, James Michael told his sister he was going to the bathroom. What happened next is still unclear.
Do you remember leaving and going to find the bathroom?
No, ma'am.
Do you remember falling off the boat?
No.
So you don't know how it happened.
No, ma'am. I came to regain consciousness. I was in the water with no boat in sight.
I think it's funny that he was not inebriated enough to, he didn't remember telling them that he was going to the bathroom. The first thing he knew, he was in the water. It's like, well, wait a minute.
I mean, we haven't ruled out the potential of his family throwing him over.
No. What the top YouTube comment cracks me up every time I read it. It says, "Only thing stronger than his will to live is his will not to admit he was wasted."
I a little bit suspect he's wasted during this interview. Look at his hair.
We're far from done here.
So you, for a while, were passed out in the water.
Yes, ma'am. Yep. And I can't float myself, even when I'm trying to. So there had to be, the Lord was with me when I was out there, because something was holding me up the whole time while I was passed out.
It's the alcohol.
It wasn't the Lord, it was Jose Cuervo. Maybe Lord Calvert Canadian whiskey, but
His family alerted the ship's crew at 2:30, more than 12 hours after James Michael was last seen.
Wait a minute. His family alerted the crew 12 hours. I think you're onto something, Jay.
I just thought he had to pee for a really long time.
we can't find him. We have no idea where he went.
Maybe they were at another air guitar contest.
Notified the Coast Guard of a missing passenger.
We did have a fairly significant search area. It was a potential of over 7,000 miles of ocean we had to search.
James Michael was alone in an area known to be a feeding ground for sharks.
I thought it was a shark. I mean, I was swimming in one direction, and I looked around, and I seen it at the corner of my eye. And it came up on me really quick. I went under, and I could see it. And it wasn't a shark, I don't believe, but it had more like a flat mouth. And it came up and bumped one of my legs, and I kicked it with the other leg. It scared me, not knowing what it was, or at the time how big it was. All I could see was a fin.
And then I realized it was pink, and it was the air guitar.
not suitable as a flotation device.
I was just going to say, too bad he didn't have the air guitar. He could just float it on that.
Yeah.
Outdoors, I tried to stay positive and calm. Exhausted and hungry, he ate what he could find to maintain his energy.
Had the
The
munchies.
stick come floating by. Looked like bamboo. So I started eating on it. And it actually, I'm not going to say it tasted good, but it gave some type of flavor in my mouth other than salt water.
Was there any point while you were out there where you thought, I don't know how much longer I can keep doing this?
When it started getting back towards nighttime again, the water started getting colder. At that time, I thought, how much longer am I going to have to be out here?
Yeah. But you just kept swimming?
Yes, ma'am. The fall didn't kill me. Sea creatures didn't eat me. I felt like I was meant to get out of there.
And I still had to claim that air guitar trophy.
That's right. Yeah, he said he won a free drink. He probably even cashed that in yet.
Oh, I think he cashed it in about 10 times.
Yeah. He was going up to every girl on that cruise saying, "Hey, baby, I just won me an air guitar contest."
Sun was going down Thanksgiving night. James Michael says he spotted a glimmer of hope, the lights from a tanker ship, and decided to swim towards it.
That was my final little burst of energy. The strength that I had, I used pretty much every bit of it to try to make it to one of them.
The Coast Guard then arriving, his miraculous rescue captured on camera.
There's still one more twist to the story coming.
Okay.
What happened?
They circled the boat 2 or 3 times looking for me. And, I'd done taken off my socks and everything and was just waving them around my head, trying to do something where they would see me. And when that light finally hit me, somehow I heard, "We got him." And I seen a guy coming down from that helicopter, and it was coming towards me. Right then I thought, man, I see the light.
When the Coast Guard guy showed up in the water, what'd you say to him?
Well, the first thing I actually told him was, "I don't have any clothes on."
Bingo.
There are so many layers to this story. I mean, he done took his socks off. We knew that.
Well, he took more than his socks off. Maybe he never had anything but socks.
Well, okay, so that's my question. 2 questions. 1, did he have anything on when he went overboard other than socks? 2, if he actually stripped his clothes off of him, that's not a horrible idea because that was going to weigh him down. So not an absolutely horrible idea. My bet, though, is that all he had on was socks. Anyway.
I think he's going to say here he stripped him off. He also said he didn't drink that night. So,
Right. Who we believe in at this point?
yeah, exactly.
Because I didn't. I'd been stripped out of everything. He said, "That's fine." All right. And I was just like, okay. And he told me to hold on to this life vessel. And I was just thinking, thank you. You're like a guardian angel coming down for me.
His rescuers believe he was seconds away from not making it.
I swam to as fast as I could. As I got to him, I shoved the rescue sling under his arms and he collapsed into it. He had nothing left.
James Michael says the whole experience has given him new purpose.
These were actually the pants that I'd planned on wearing on the cruise, but never got to. And I put them on this morning, and I reached in the pocket, and there was something, there's a fortune. It says, "Life's a beach. Enjoy the waves."
Do you think it changed you?
Yes, definitely. It opened my eyes. I take things for granted, I reckon, or a lot of people do.
Do you think you'll go on a cruise ship again?
What do you think he says? Jay, what's he say? Yes or no?
I bet he says yes. You don't win an air guitar contest and not go back to defend your title.
Do you think you'll go on a cruise ship again?
Yeah, I will.
Really?
Yeah. I ain't going to let it discourage me that much. I might not get within 10 foot of the rails, but...
How are you going to know when you're blackout drunk?
Exactly.
I'm not going with 17 other of my family members.
Be open to going on another cruise, because I really didn't get to go on this one.
That's fair.
Well, I mean,
Oh my God. That is classic.
That's gold. That is gold. I kind of want to go on a cruise with him. I think he'd be a blast.
Yeah. Seems like a fun dude. That's for sure.
Just think if he would have been drinking. So funny. Funny. That's a good find, Mike. Very good find.
In all seriousness, though, I don't know how do they verify how long he was, I suppose, maybe security footage?
They probably, yeah. There's security on those boats.
If he was actually floating there for 20 hours, that's pretty impressive.
It is. I would agree with that.
I don't think you call it swimming, right? You're if I'm in that situation, I'm just trying to float, like do a back float or something, right?
Absolutely. I don't know that I strip my clothes off and dangle my worm out there in shark waters, if you know what I mean. Well, that guy's gold. I love him. I want to party with him. I do.
How old do you think he is?
How old?
He's younger than we are.
Is he Gen Z?
30s. I bet he's late 30s. Mid 30s.
I'd say early to mid.
Is that Gen Z?
Probably.
Probably on the edge. Yeah, on the edge.
I always forget. Like 2010, is that the cutoff, or is it further?
That'd probably be pretty close.
I think it's earlier, isn't it?
97 to 2012-ish.
Okay. Yeah, he's probably Gen Z then.
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of Gen Z, what should we do for Gen Z this time?
Gen Z story time.
Can I propose a topic?
I'll allow it.
Actually, this one stemmed from a situation that I had. I was doing some cleaning, and I came across some CDs. The funny thing about these CDs that I came across were ones I was like, some of these CDs, I don't think I would ever go to the store. Now, maybe we should go back and explain what a CD is. Do people in Gen Z know what CDs are?
No, they don't.
Okay, so a CD, a compact disc, was, at the time, it was quite the deal as far as the way everybody listened to music, wasn't it? I mean, there were no streaming services. It was a step up from a cassette tape.
I caught the tail end, like, when I got into music in, I think it was junior high, I bought, I think, 2 or 3 cassettes and then started buying CDs. I caught the tail end of the cassettes.
Yeah.
Even the CDs. And it was so much better. You could go to a specific track, right?
Yeah, you could skip to whatever song you wanted to. You could fast forward through, like, into the song, but you knew exactly where the song stopped or started. You didn't have to forward and then rewind. So yeah, that was how we consumed music at the time, was through CDs. And if I remember right now, this is also going to date us a little bit, but most CDs cost between $12 and $16, probably $10 to $16, $17, $18 to buy at the store. So along came a couple companies. The 2 companies that were most notorious for doing this one was called Columbia House. The other one was called BMG. That really jumped into this particular, I don't know if you'd call it phenomenon, but it was a way of getting music to people at maybe discounted prices. I don't know. So these companies, and actually going back and doing some research on them, Columbia House, did you know Columbia House started this idea back like in the mid 50s? They started like in 1955, 56, something like that.
Sure did, because I got the wiki page pulled up, Geoff.
There you go. But anyway, they started this whole idea back in the 50s of what they would do to kind of get people in their system is they would offer to give you 1 or 2 free records at the time, albums for free, or in a lot of cases, they'd make you put a penny. That was your promise, a penny promise, that you would buy a certain number of records at regular price, but you would have the discount of getting free albums at various times, initially and then throughout your membership. Well, this idea then further expanded into CDs. And the fun thing about that was usually you would get an offer that said you could get 6 or 7 free CDs, and then you had to buy one at their regular price, and then you would get usually 3 or 4 more if I'm correct. I mean,
I think you had to buy 4 or 5 at regular price.
Well, and it might have been. It might have been. I don't remember. But you got a bunch of CDs at discounted prices. And back in the day, that was how I built my CD collections, was through those two companies. I don't know how many CDs I ended up getting through those companies through that. But the downside to it was after you got your free CDs, purchased however many you had to, you needed to cancel it, because if you didn't cancel it, you would get a new selection sent to you every month. And if you didn't send that back or didn't say you didn't want it, then you ended up having to buy whatever CD it was that they randomly sent you, which that could get really expensive because if you're like me and you forgot to cancel the CD, cancel the subscription, you ended up with a CD from Jet that you only had one song on there that you knew.
That was the old school way of subscriptions today, the online shit.
Totally.
Yeah.
To this day, I owe him like $600-700.
So there's a funny story about that, Jay. And I was doing research on it, and I think it was 2008. BMG actually bought Columbia House, the music distribution part of it. And when they stopped their music service, they actually filed some claims, some debt recovery claims for people that had never paid for CDs and stuff like that. And turns out that a big bunch of those claims were fraudulent. They weren't actual real. Like, they took people's names that were members and they filed claims saying they didn't pay for CDs, trying to recoup money. And it turned out it wasn't even real. And a lot of these people didn't find out until they needed something with their credit report.
With
their credit report, and saw all this stuff filed against them. So yeah, there's some shady shit going on. So that $600 and $700 might have covered, a few of the other claims that
could be.
And BMG, that was like 2000. That was way after their peak, right? When BMG bought. They used to be competing companies, which would let you bounce between the two. You do one, cancel, let it simmer a little while or cool down, go to the other one. And a lot of people would just try and not pay it too. I believe some people would fight it on the technicality that they were minors, right?
Yep. And honestly, I didn't know when I was, again, doing the research here. They said in 1994 was its best year for those two companies to do that business. And at that point, something like 15 or 16% of all of the CDs that were purchased in that year were purchased through those two companies. And
No way.
Yeah, it was an insane amount.
That's crazy.
I believe it.
Yeah, I do too.
And there was no checking. No background checks or anything. I used my real name, I'm pretty sure, but you could have used any name.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And it wasn't a thing where you couldn't have multiple people at the same residence do it. It's like you could have yourself, your family, your mom, your dad, your sister.
I did it over and over with the same name. Like, I didn't even need to, do it under somebody else's name.
That's funny. But also, so this is kind of a funny thing, and this is me being non-techie, but one of the CDs that I found, the CD that I found, this was the group that was on the CD. Hold on a second, I'll play it.
Classic Fall Out Boy.
I was just going to say, how funny is it that Fall Out Boy was a CD that I remember it was one of the CDs of the month that I got from them.
When did that album come out?
Checking.
So you were doing it, you were still doing it in the 2000s? It had to be 2000s, right?
This was probably 90...
Fall Out Boy wasn't a thing in the 90s, were they?
Late 90s, early 2000s.
Thanks for the Memories debuted on the radio.
2001, 2002 was their early years.
2007.
Busted,
seriously?
Geoff. You are
Holy
busted.
crap.
You were doing Columbia House in 2007.
I can't believe I still was part of that, but I do remember buying it.
Were you doing Columbia House in 2007, Jay?
No.
I mean, this is well after Napster then, right?
Oh, Napster. That should be
Oh, yeah, Napster's a good one.
It's got to be a Gen Z story time.
Jay, you and I were doing Napster when we lived together, which
Totally.
was like 99-ish.
Totally. It was fresh back then, too.
So we were pirating our music, and Geoff was still doing Columbia House. Loser.
Yep, we were spending eBay money and pirating music, baby.
Burden CDs, mix CDs.
Yep. We did make mixed CDs back. You remember Glass Eyeball? That was one of our mixed CDs.
We'd make custom labels to put on and like name the CDs.
So good. So God, we were pimp. So pimp.
Yes. I forgot about that.
So good.
See what these young kids missed out on.
I
There's so
know.
much shit. There's so much shit we got to do that.
I mean, the first couple of Chevelle albums were totally pirated that I owned. I went back and bought them legally now, of course.
Sure.
But yeah, at the time they were pirated.
Well, I guess now we're never getting Chevelle on this show.
Damn it.
Way to go, Mike. Gonna have to sell those red lights that I bought.
No. We'll use them.
Okay. Good times. Well, that's so kids, that was the BMG Columbia House. It was awesome.
2007. Man, Geoff, you don't disappoint.
I tell you what, every now and again.
So their whole goal was, one, the CDs you had to buy were marked up like what, $20, 17, 18,
20, yeah.
Way too high. Especially when you consider we were paying $15, so what, it cost them like $5 to make them probably.
Yeah.
And then of course they were hoping you would just not return. You had to they sent you the CD. You had to return the whole CD.
Yep.
In a box.
Mm-hmm.
In like 14 days or something like that. Otherwise, they sent you a bill. But that's the thing too. It wasn't like they had credit cards on file and shit and just automatically charged you. So then they send you a bill and they have to get you to pay the bill.
Do you remember also how you picked it wasn't like you said, there wasn't like a website. You didn't go on and like pick your stuff. They sent you the little sticker things that were the design of the front
That's how you
page.
picked your first ones, yeah.
Yeah, because you just stuck this. They were like little stamps that you just stuck them on there, and that's how you chose which one. Oh my gosh!
But you had zero control over the ones they sent you each month.
Right, that were part of the club thing, the monthly club thing. No, that's how. Like I said,
probability you wouldn't want it.
Yeah, that's how I ended up with Jet.
Sure, that's how you ended up with Jet.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff.
I had quite the collection built myself for a while. Then I think I eBayed it all for $200.
That's okay. You only spent $17 to get half of them. So
I'm such a not rule breaker. I think I fulfilled most of my commitments on them.
I did too.
Yeah, I totally believe that.
That's why I was still a member in 2007.
You just joined once and you were paying full price ever since. What a deal. I got those 6 free ones.
But I bought 118 at $30 a piece.
We should follow up. I think I said last time we should try and follow up on anything that we covered in previous episodes.
Yep.
Kind of left hanging. I am still not peeing in the shower.
Sounds like a you problem.
Seems like I haven't got a lot of feedback from people on that, but there are other shower peers, obviously. Doesn't surprise me.
You have gotten feedback on that?
Well, yeah. I don't know. And the shower peeing is fine if it's straight down the drain, but I don't know, standing in a toilet, I just don't get it.
The pipes all go to the same place.
Yeah.
Standing in it. Yellow water. Can't do it. Anyway, Earl of Sandwich Bread did arrive as advertised. I've been trying to get you guys your portions and failed so far. Still got it frozen away.
We forgive you.
Yeah, no big deal. Have you tried any of it?
I've just made throw some cold cuts on there, and it just seemed like regular Hoagie Buns to me. But I don't have the refined palate, apparently, of some people.
Did you toast them?
I didn't do any of the toasting or anything. And I think that's probably the game changer. I'm hoping it is.
Probably.
So, but I want to get you culinary experts to give it a go. I hope the listeners can hear how big my air quotes are.
Oh, they know how big your air quotes are.
Almost as big as my air guitar.
Was that before or after you hit the water?
Before. Shrinkage.
Okay.
You know about it.
Yeah, shrinkage. Well, I'll be curious to try it. I think the toasting is probably a big deal.
If the Toronto bread is the Earl of Sandwich bread, and it's the hoagie roll is the correct roll, you can get it through this Chicago Johnny website. It's totally legit. They sent it on time as advertised. It got here quicker actually than advertised. Nice. And I got a free sticker. So
really?
Yeah.
Very nice.
That makes it worth it.
And they provided some instructions, recommended instructions on toasting it and freezing it, or maybe that was on the website. Either way. So we had a listener, air quotes, listener / frenemy who calls me Toby. Not gonna name names. Douchebag Evan. He says he microwaves Pop Tarts quite regularly. What do we think of that?
Well, my question is, and Jay had brought this up earlier when we were talking off camera, doesn't that take a lot of extra time? How long does an average toaster take to heat a Pop-Tart? 30 seconds?
45 maybe.
My thing is going to get soggy.
And the caramelization of the frosting that comes from the toaster is important, I think.
I did quiz him on the sogginess, and his response was via text. That's why I like it. When I don't have any milk, it makes them not as dry. You're starting to understand Douchebag Evan, aren't you?
I don't know Evan. I cannot say that I've ever met Evan, but for some reason, I don't think that microwaving is adding any moisture to the Pop-Tart. Is it? Is it just an appearance of being less dry?
I don't want to get into geometry, but if it gets soggy, it seems like it would be more moist, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but how does a microwave do that?
How does Positrack on a Plymouth work?
It just does.
It just does. Actually, Evan would love that joke.
Are you Facebook friends with Evan? I think I just found him.
Yes, I think so.
I'm going to post something mean on his wall.
Go for it.
You know what? I'm gonna give. I don't know Evan. Like I said, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, and I'm gonna try it.
I'd like to get him on the podcast to discuss this. See if we can do that.
But I want to try it first.
He's also, Jay, what do you think of this? He also loves Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, it seems right. It seems right. Just from the 19 seconds that I've known him, it seems right.
Do you know him now?
Well,
now you do, right?
I've browsed his Facebook. Yeah.
So explain, you don't like Buffalo Wild Wings, right? It's not you don't like it. You think it's low quality.
I think it's low quality, overpriced.
Well, everything's overpriced. And in all fairness,
good point.
I do like Buffalo Wild Wings, actually.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Gone with Evan there several times. But
there's nothing wrong with it. I think their fries are soggy and horrible, but there's nothing wrong with it.
I'm not even sure he eats anywhere but Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, jeez. Oh, boy. And that's too bad. They have a great beer selection.
They were out of honey barbecue sauce one day. How the fuck does that happen? I mean, seriously. It's like Earl of Sandwich being out of bread. So anyway, Evan, we're calling you out. You need to come on the podcast. Still a douchebag. Moving on.
Let's do a couple points to ponder.
Aren't you going to say it? Points to ponder.
Points to ponder.
Which ones do you want to do?
It's the best I got. I'd like to start with one based on an earlier story. What is the best song to air guitar to?
Look at you on the fly, coming up with a pretty good one.
Yeah, there is a correct answer.
Way better than any of the ones that Geoff came up with plenty of time to think about them. No offense.
Oh, best song to air guitar to?
Yes, correct.
Gosh.
There is a correct answer.
I'm not going to get the correct answer.
Thunderstruck.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I was going to go with Crazy Train.
Thunderstruck's not the correct answer?
No, not for me. It's not, no. But it's pretty good. I'll give you that.
Do you want to change your answer?
Me? No.
What's your answer, Jake?
The correct answer, Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses. Argue it all you want. It's correct.
See, and I'm not going to argue the band, because I think Paradise City is a pretty good one to air guitar too.
Pick several songs better than Sweet Child of Mine to air guitar to. No offense.
I'll accept Paradise City.
Paradise City is the best Guns N' Roses song. I think we've had this.
We have had that discussion. Yeah.
Welcome to the Jungle. for air guitar, though.
That'd be pretty good, yeah. Good point. Yeah, you might be changing my mind.
I mean, Thunderstruck is Thunderstruck.
That's a pretty good question. Good thing you came up with that on the fly. You're in charge of points to ponder now.
I liked out of the ones I came up with, best golf club.
I thought about this one a lot. Do I get to go first on this one?
I have follow-up questions, so go first.
Of course you do.
You get to choose one, right? The best golf club.
Best golf club. Yes, of course you get to choose one.
I'm going with the 7-iron.
Okay.
That's wrong. The term best here is tough because I think what you really mean is all-purpose. What's the all-purpose?
No, that's not what I mean. I mean best golf club.
To me, what makes the best golf club is that it would be all-purpose.
I will say, and you guys have seen this on the notes, but our listeners haven't seen this. I don't mean best brand.
Right.
I mean best golf club. Like pitching wedge, 7-iron, driver.
Right.
Something like that.
The correct answer is 5-iron.
5-iron? Really?
Yep. You can drive with it. You can chunk with it. You can putt with it if you got to. 5-iron.
Do you have any defense of yours, Geoff?
So I considered the 5-iron. The reason that I did not go with the 5-iron, for me personally, is that the 5-iron would work fine for driving and approach shots and putting, but I don't know how you're going to chip with it.
You stick the green. That's it.
Oh, well. I've not golfed with you in a while, Jay. I don't stick the green very often.
I don't either.
So I'm chipping a lot. And so I need something that I can chip with. The other thing for me is that the difference in distance between, for some reason I hit my 7-iron not almost as far, but not that much shorter in distance than my 5-iron, that I would lose that much by using the 7-iron versus the 5.
Okay, that's fair. For me, there's probably 30 yards difference there.
You're a short hitter.
What did you say?
You're a short hitter.
Yeah, I am.
You're both wrong.
But I hit it straight. What do you have?
See, you read too much into the question. I didn't say best golf club for playing golf. I just said best golf club. Longest, biggest, fattest driver you can find.
Gotcha. Drive for show, right? More head speed.
More head speed, yes.
Yeah.
That's it right there, I think.
Yeah.
That's the correct answer. More head speed. Bigger head, more head speed.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. That's fair.
Best Will Ferrell movie.
There's lots of obvious ones. I saw a Will Ferrell movie the other day that was serious.
There's a new one that's not serious. The wedding one.
No, it was Maggie Gyllenhaal. Did you see the wedding one with him and Reese Witherspoon?
Mm-hmm. I think it's Netflix, isn't it?
No, it's on Amazon Prime, I think.
Oh yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm.
You're cordially invited.
Yep.
I don't know this motherfucker.
It's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
You either love him or hate him, but if you love him, most of his movies are going to be pretty good.
Yeah. Will Ferrell. I gotta go. Do you have an answer, Jay?
It's tough. A lot of people go Anchorman.
This is going to be one where I'm not going to give it away, but I'm probably going to cheat. Go more than one.
I think Blades of Glory is underrated. It's a great movie.
What is that? Was it Iron Lotus?
Yeah, I think that's right. Yes.
Look at that. Look at me.
That's pretty good. For me, though, it's old school.
Ooh.
Frank the Tank.
That's a deep cut. Can
we get some KFC? Go streaking through the quad.
He's not even the main guy on that.
Nobody makes it. He makes the movie.
Yeah.
You're my boy, Blue.
That's a good one. I respect that pick. It's wrong, but I respect it.
Jay mentioned mentioned possibilities. I think from a quotability and just pure silliness standpoint, I think Anchorman is the one I would have to go with.
You know the Will Ferrell movie I've watched the most, though? The most times?
What?
Elf.
It's not my favorite one.
It's not, but it's Christmas classic.
It is. It's a new classic for sure.
Not my favorite, but great movie.
I agree with everything you just said.
Yeah.
That's why you almost got to throw that in the discussion. And then you say I didn't have Anchorman in my head when I said this question, but
Sure.
how can you not say Anchorman almost? And I think this is the movie I've watched the most too. I think it's Talladega Nights.
Valid choice.
I would tell you this, but I'm afraid it's going to get me kicked off the podcast. I've never seen Talladega Nights from start to finish.
Jeepers creepers.
My God. Then I don't think you're qualified to answer the question.
I've seen bits and pieces of it. Same with Semi-Pro. Did you remember Semi-Pro?
You were just quoting Talladega Nights.
Because it's on a meme or a GIF or GIF or whatever the fuck it's called.
GIF is correct.
You quoted the follow-up line too.
It's on the one meme.
This is all in one meme?
Yeah, I've seen or GIF. Sorry. I have seen bits and pieces of the movie, but I've never seen the whole thing.
Sit down and watch it.
Do you know his kids' names are Walker and Texas Ranger?
No.
So good.
You don't know that?
So good.
No.
And it's little stuff like that just makes the movie.
Yeah, it's, John C. Reilly is his own movie star. He does his own movies now. It's got most of those guys in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a classic.
I will have to put it in the queue.
Turn on TBS virtually any night. Of course, you probably want to watch was that an R movie?
Yeah, I think it was.
He thinks he's paralyzed, but it's all in his head. He stabs himself in the leg to prove it.
Oh my God. It sounds like a Will Ferrell
it totally
type of
is. I mean, it's probably the best Will Ferrell movie there is. Okay, moving on. What is the best type of Vegas busker?
The one that doesn't exist.
No, that's not allowed as an answer.
I'm going to go bucket drummer.
Bucket drummer?
Yeah.
You're really loud.
I know. I love it.
You love it?
I do enjoy it myself.
I want to be a bucket drummer.
Yeah.
During COVID, I kind of started practicing. You had to have a COVID hobby, right? And I was baking sourdough, but wasn't everybody.
Totally.
I love the bucket drummers.
Wrong.
I would have to say my favorite is the spray paint artists. I like those dudes.
They're pretty good. Like Fremont Street level.
Yeah, the Fremont Street ones. They amaze me. They amaze me what they can do.
Yeah.
They make it look so easy.
There's the one little stall on Fremont Street that's been there forever.
Yep.
I wasn't really thinking about the Fremont. The Fremont ones are kind of on a different level, aren't they?
Yeah.
That makes me think. I had one in mind. It's more of a kind of a funny one than anything. I do like the ones. I don't know how exactly to explain it. Like it looks like they're in a super uncomfortable position and they just one tiptoe or something for hours.
Oh, the statue people. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's more than just staying in one place. It's like they're in some sort of impossible position, and I think they shove some sort of supports up their clothing or something. Those are kind of fun. But I was just going to go the nudie card guys because I like getting the nudie cards. I think they might be dead, actually.
Yeah, I don't think that you can see them. They're not there really anymore because of the law.
And the internet and stuff.
Pretty classic Vegas, though.
Maybe that's why I like them, because they're no longer there.
That's right. It's like the Tropicana.
It used to be fun to take people to Vegas and not tell them about it and then watch as they got one handed to them. Especially like your parents or something,
I'm going to be a bucket drummer someday.
I support that endeavor.
I was gonna say, and I'll be there to throw you 50 cents to $20 into a thing.
If you became not just a bucket drummer, you have to be a Vegas one.
Okay.
On the Strip, I will change my answer to bucket drummer as my favorite.
Okay. Challenge accepted.
All right. Deal.
I think we should wrap it up.
All right. Let's wrap it then.
Let's wrap it. Thank you all for listening. If you enjoy our podcast, please consider subscribing. You can find us on all major social media outlets at Strip Walking, or visit us at stripwalking.com, of course. Thank you all again for listening, and may all your sevens show on the come out roll.
Just because you say with all due respect doesn't mean you can say whatever you want.